Now, there's been a problem at the parks that I think all of us agree needs a little bit of fixing. Disney has been a little too focused on the smartphones here at the park. When we talk about that degree in Disney, Disney has been trying to get people's faces in phones a little too much. There's been the My Disney Experience app, which has been the bane of every mother's existence, whether or not she realizes it. I joke. Whoever the planner is in every family group is the one who gets slaved to that phone and has to check it all day. There's another app that Disney has had incorporated into their parks for quite some time, and it is finally being discontinued. The battery waster that you hand to your kids while you're in line and hope you've still got enough juice to get your next lightning lane. Well, it seems like they are pulling the plug. The Play Disney Parks app is being discontinued. This story by Trevor Denning at that park place. Disney is officially ending the Play Disney Parks app after more than 8 years of encouraging guests to turn time in line into playtime. Whatever you do, don't look at all the amazing things that Imagineering has put into this queue. No, don't pay attention to that. Please look at your smart device. See that notification from work? You probably need to get that while you're in here. Yeah, there we go. The free app will be discontinued on September 16th, 2026, according to details reported by Scott Gustin. On that date, Disney will remove it from the digital storefronts and prevent existing users from logging into their accounts. So this isn't even like that Mickey play doll that you could bring to the parks and he would say different things around the park. And they took down the signs, but they kept all those transponders there. So anyone who had the doll could still get Mickey to respond in different places in the parks. It sounds like they're going scorched earth on this thing. Like, we are not spending any money on the infrastructure. We need this right now. We've got to retool Hulu with that money or something. So
yeah, it's pretty crazy because we actually thought some of these features would actually be embedded in maybe perhaps Disney Plus via that whole, you remember this, Jonas? I think Bloomberg originally had this article, but it was, the super app, this one combined experience and so forth that includes Disney Parks, Hulu, ESPN, and maybe even Disney Play, Disney Plus, etc. Well, it looks like, at least with Disney Play, the Parks Play app, they're cutting that entirely.
Yeah, man, I forgot about that super app, and that's one of those things that a big technology company would want to do, whereas Disney sometimes forgets that they are a theme park company more than anything else that they do. I think Bob Iger forgot about that. Anyways, Disney's retiring Play Disney effective September 16th. The app currently powers several interactive experiences across Disneyland, Walt Disney World, including Star Wars Datapad, Batu Bounty Hunters, DuckTales World Showcase Adventure, Attraction Queue Games, etc. Guests who want to review their achievements or save progress should do so before the shutdown. Disney has not announced a replacement for the app or publicly explained why it is being retired. Man, I don't care what their reason is. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. The thing is already a digital ball and chain anyways. Launched in June 2018. Has it been that long? The Play Disney Parks app offered location-based games, trivia challenges, music, digital achievements, and interactive experiences at Walt Disney World and Disneyland. Disney initially promoted the app as a way to make lengthy attraction waits more entertaining. Guests could access theme games while standing in line for rides such as Space Mountain, Peter Pan's Flight, Slinky Dog Dash, Toy Story Mania, and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. The incorporation of whatever it is into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, I have to think that they watched that Jenny Nicholson video. And the thing that I think is significant about Jenny Nicholson's video is that everyone had been saying that these apps are lame for a very long time, but you finally get someone who is not in the culture war, at least on that side of it, in any way. And all of a sudden they go, oh, wait, maybe we should listen to this. She tried to do a bunch of the Play app stuff when she stayed at the Galactic Star Cruiser, and none of it worked in any way that is satisfying. And any child who is using this, I don't think they had magical experiences using the phone. I can't think of any Disney experience that is made more magical by phones. Now, the Magic Bands, there were some interesting things there, actually. The putting your name in rides which I now am on the other side of that. I want more privacy. I don't want anyone on the ride knowing that I'm on the ride with them. I want to be here with my family. Um, some of that was kind of magical, kind of like ET saying my name on the ride. How in the world did you get my name, ET? That's obviously Universal. But now we have a battery drainer that your kids are now asking for your phone while you're in the line. And I think this is a great decision on Disney's part. Vash, are
Oh
you going to
well,
miss this one?
oh, I take a little bit of a different tact with this. I think Disney was trying to do something that was a little bit out of the ordinary. Let's say, you certainly had like activation points like embedded in queues, like Peter Pan, for example. I think at Magic Kingdom, where you could activate Tinkerbell and all of that, and the data pad. Well, it didn't really, amount to what I think people really meaningfully wanted from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the ability to play and interact and all of that. It was kind of a substitute with maybe some of the more ambitious things that they were doing, like with the Legends of Frontierland test that occur at Disneyland. I think, 2015, 16, 17, thereabouts. There were a lot of things that were very, very interesting, like for example, the ability to like make steam come out of the Millennium Falcon. That was kind of cool. Or make droids beep boop bop. That was very, very interesting. It would also track your progress, which was, that was kind of cool. Where you go and you see Hondo Onaka there at the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run attraction. He'd be like, "Hey, welcome back," and it'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I do have that Disney Play app right there." But unfortunately, I think the amount of investment required to keep that going, to keep that operational, and to keep infusing that kind of technology throughout their parks, I just don't think they saw the ROI, which is why they are now decommissioning it, which is kind of interesting because like the bounty hunter kind of game that they have in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge actually has a retail component attached to it, like the Magic Bands, for example, the Magic Band Plus or whatever. And so they have said that that's going to continue probably because people purchased the Magic Band Plus for that reason. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how they actually do that without this app. But this is pretty big news. This was, that kind of technological innovation, that next gen thinking, now gone from the company's coffers.
Now, I'm gonna counterpoint one thing, because there is an interesting aspect I was not thinking of, and I'm not going to be completely positive for Universal when I say this. I actually really like the way that Universal does their app, which is it brings you into Super Nintendo World. It's not flawless. I don't perfectly love it, but if you have one of the power-up bands, there are achievements that you can do within the land, but it's very specific. And there's only one other land at Epic Universe that you can do this in. And I don't want to see this proliferated. But Super Nintendo World is an excellent example of how this kind of stuff can be used. But
Right.
one negative and one positive. The 35, and I think it's now $45 that you can that you have to pay to get a power-up band. Okay, sure. But that's only so it can work with the app. You can also do all of the app stuff without, I think you can actually do it without actually using the app. You can still go around and you'll get all the sound effects and you can experience 95% of this. The stuff that's locked behind a smartphone, I want that smartphone as disinvolved as possible. I want it to be that I've picked up my smartphone so that I can check and maybe I can mobile order so that I can like look at the menu while I'm in line. That's the only line that I want affected by a smartphone. The idea of a grandparent coming to one of these parks with the littles and being like, okay, well, does my phone have the tech specs it needs in order to run this app well? And how much is this going to run down my battery? Again, I'm not trying to bring that up over and over and over again. But when we're talking about being at a theme park, hopefully all day, if you're paying the exorbitant price in order to do this, this has to be accessible to everybody, and the ease of use needs to be something to where the average cast member needs to be able to intervene and make the experience great. Now, I'm going to say one negative thing about Universal here that I think they really need to fix as soon as possible. When you do the wand experience through the app in the Harry Potter lands, the number of times that I, as a person who is actually pretty patient with tech issues. The number of times that I had to quote unquote find the wizard with the spell book, which is an iPad, and get them to fix the problem, which means that they just look at my account and say, yeah, checkbox, you did the thing. That was super lame. Absolutely incredibly lame. And there's way too many tech issues on that side. So that's the negative thing, I would say, with bringing smartphones and apps into this experience. It's not magical. There are fun things that can be done, but man, if I'm going to a theme park, the unique thing that I am doing is I am going into a theme park space. I have a smartphone at home. I don't want to bring it with me. I probably will bring it with me because I have a technology addiction, but I shouldn't have to bring it with me.
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Am I old man that yells at cloud?
You're not crazy. I think there is a certain charm that is lost when things have gone so virtual, when things have gone so digital, when things have gone so mobile intensive, right? Mobile phone, that is. And when you're forced to go back to that phone over and over and over again, there's a nice simplicity in even Universal's implementation of like the power-up band, where it's not so phone dependent, where you can just kind of snap it on the wrist, start playing. And I think that's kind of a cool thing right there, right? Now, that's a very interactive land. That's a very interactive property. So it all makes sense. I think where this really fell short was like the Jenny Nicholson thing, right? Yeah, sure. The Play app was included with your purchase, and you can go ahead and your purchase of your ticket, that is, and you can go ahead and start playing immediately. But it just wasn't engaging. There just wasn't enough feedback. Let's say there wasn't enough reward, and it multiplied the issues connected to so much digital infrastructure that you had to interact with on a constant basis when in the parks. And we've actually heard that internally from Disney themselves, where they were like, look, listen, people have actually bought into Lightning Lane, or at that time it was actually Genie Plus. It's like they don't want to go to their phones over and over again. Phone fatigue is a real thing, and it's in internal company documentation right there. And I think they were just I think they're just looking at this and going, are we getting the return on investment for how much we're actually putting in? They actually got rid of a lot of the stuff connected to like mobile checkout and all of that, which was a retail initiative. So them kind of pulling back on some of this stuff, I think could be a win, but it's going to be interesting to see how they implement interactivity in the future.
Yeah. The last thing that I want to say about this, Leslie Iwerks right now working on Imagineering Story Season 2, which Imagineering Story I think is the greatest thing that's come out of Disney Plus. I think she was working on it well before Disney Plus was really a thing.
Right.
But in some of the appearances that she made, she talked about how Imagineering was trying to work on ways to use the phone to interact with the environment to get people's eyes out of the environment. I think the reality of it, and I commented this online, that using the distraction machine to try to pull people out of the distraction machine is not going to work. And I appreciate the idea of it, but it's not going to happen. Eddie Sato, may he rest in peace. And enough time has passed that I'm going to reveal that I did end up having some private conversations over the internet, not in person. So anyone who wants to sully his name by saying he interacted with that Jonas Campbell, don't worry, it's just DMs. Nice fellow, by the way. He talked about how hard it was to do all of this, and that he thought Leslie Iwerks was talking about some things that were positive in the experience. I appreciate the idea of dealing with something like this and trying to use where people are to get them to the place where you want them to be. But I think the problem here is it's not like advertising on television for how great it would be to get outside. This is bringing your television with you to say, hey, we're going to put something amazing on the television. Keep lugging this thing around. I think Disney needs to differentiate their products, and anything that pulls you into that phone is a negative. And it needs to be done as little as possible. In order to make this thing magical, you've got to do things that people cannot do at home. So doing virtual reality, they can do that at home, and no one is buying it. Keep this in mind. Virtual reality has been around for decades and no one is buying it at home because the people who are doing it, it's still a niche market. So Disney, just hear me out here. Just make magical experiences that cannot be experienced in a smartphone and you will have something great. Maybe make a huggable robot and then we'll talk about whether the robotics push is a good idea.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.